Does anyone else's morning start with
Mama, what's for breakfast?
It's so tempting to grab cereal, frozen waffles, but today we're trying something completely different. One pancake is covered in 1,000 tiny holes, and the other is so fluffy it jiggles. But which one is actually worth making at home? I'm testing both for taste, cost, and difficulty, so you don't have to. So grab your coffee and let's put these pancakes to test. I was so fascinated by this Baghrir pancake from the country of Morocco. There was no butter, no oil, 1,000 holes, and no flipping. Can there anything else be more fascinating? Bonus is that it looked pretty easy and pretty inexpensive to make. Combine all the dry ingredients first, which is 2 cups of semolina, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 package of instant yeast, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Hold off on adding baking powder, we'll do that later. To a bowl with dry ingredients, add 3.5 cups of warm water. You can mix everything by hand. By blending it makes the batter smoother, and that helps those tiny holes form more evenly. Once everything is blended, I whisk in the baking powder, and that gives a little extra lift to our batter. Then I cover it and let it sit for about 20 minutes while the yeast gets to work. Baghrir is traditionally served during family gatherings and at ftoor, which is the evening meal that breaks the fast during Ramadan. The pancakes traditionally served alongside mint tea. So I'm a little bit nervous with this recipe because unlike traditional pancakes, these pancakes use dry non-stick pan to cook in. I also believe cooking with butter or oil, especially with butter, it adds flavor. So I'm very interested to see what the end result tastes like. Because I've never cooked pancake with nothing but a dry non-stick pan. When ready, pour the batter onto a dry pan and cook until all the bubbles pop and the top is covered in holes and no longer looks wet. Now here's the part of the recipe that I thought was so interesting. Unlike regular pancake, you do not flip these pancakes. Just before removing them, you want to check the bottom, make sure that it's lightly golden.
That looks so cool, Mom.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait to taste it.
What are you doing, Matthias? Are you tasting it now? This is something else. I have never seen a pancake make that many holes. And watching it is so mesmerizing, and I can just probably stand all day and just make these pancakes and be content. And I am dying to taste it. Traditional Baghrir pancakes are served with mixture of honey and butter. You want to melt 2 tablespoons of butter with 2 tablespoons of honey, then pour generously over the pancake and watch that warm mixture soak into every little hole. Now, moment of truth. I'm gonna call kids in just a little bit, but I wanted to try and see what this pancake with 1,000 holes tastes like. Let's do a taste test. Wow, this is so good. It soaked up all of this goodness of honey and butter. I was very afraid that it would lack flavor, but it's the opposite. It is rich in flavor. All these holes just full of honey and butter, and the texture itself is very chewy, and this pancake is very moist. I think my kids are going to love it, and I think we'll be adding this to our rotation of breakfast pancakes.
Thank you, Mom. This is soft and chewy. It tastes so good.
This reminds me of a pancake, but fluffier.
And chewier.
It's different.
Yeah.
And it's something I can make it again.
Yeah.
It's something I can make it with adding to our pancake rotation.
Yeah.
The kids definitely approved of Baghrir pancakes, but now we're moving from hundreds of tiny holes to a pancake that's supposedly be tall, fluffy, and jiggly. Next up is Japan's fuwa pancake. Now say that 100 times, and that literally means fluffy pancake. So this particular recipe makes about 2 medium-sized pancakes, so I would highly recommend for you to triple this recipe for your family to enjoy. We're gonna start out by taking 2 eggs and separate egg whites from egg yolks. For the base, I combined 2 egg yolks with a tablespoon of milk, a teaspoon of vanilla, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 4 tablespoons of flour, and a pinch of salt. Once it was smooth, I set it aside while I worked on the meringue. For the meringue, I started whipping 2 egg whites on high. Once they became foamy, I added a pinch of salt and a small squeeze of lemon, and you want to squeeze just enough for the juice to flow freely. Then I slowly poured in 3 tablespoons of maple syrup that I had warmed in the microwave for about 40 seconds. The warm syrup helps stabilize the meringue and gives it a smooth, glossy texture. If you are brave, one of the ways to check and see if your meringue has stabilized is to turn your bowl upside down. If it's stabilized, nothing should come out. Now you are ready to mix your egg yolk mixture with your meringue mixture, and here where you have to be very careful because you do not want to deflate your batter, so make sure that you gently mix it together by folding egg whites in with the egg yolk mixture. I lightly brushed the pan with oil, then I added a generous scoop of batter, building it up nice and tall. Since my lid wasn't high enough, I covered the pan with the mixing bowl and let it cook for about 6 minutes. I usually don't get nervous, but this recipe is giving me butterflies. I've never made it, so let's see if it worked. Okay, maybe. Once pancakes were done cooking for 6 minutes, I lifted the lid and added about 2 more scoops of batter on top. I then poured about 2 tablespoons of water into the pan, and that will give us extra steam that needed for the pancakes to cook. I covered it with the lid again and let my pancake cook for about 3 minutes. Keeping my fingers crossed that this is gonna work. After that, I carefully flipped the pancake. Well, I struggled a little bit to carefully flip it, but I covered it again with a lid and cooked for another 6 minutes. Fun fact, believe it or not, but these aren't an ancient Japanese recipe. These pancakes are actually a modern trend that took off in Japan, and because they're cooked so slowly, some restaurants only serve limited number at specific times each day. So my first pancake came out a little bit lopsided. It had its shape on one side and a bit flat on the other side, and I think mistake happened when I flipped my pancake. It just kind of got smooshed to the side of the pan and kind of held its shape the way it was after I flipped it. But it smells divine. I still have another one cooking, and we'll be doing tests shortly. These are definitely the kind of pancakes that get prettier with practice, and my second one already looked so much better than the first. Wow, 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 wow. That looks so beautiful. So beautiful. Now let me try to remove it without messing it up and flattening it. Wow. So one side still tends to be flatter, but everywhere else it's nice and fluffy. I don't know why it is, but it is what it is. It smells divine though. Moment of truth. I've never had this pancake before, but we're gonna try it. We got a little syrup on it. Wow. Wow. I feel like I'm eating a cake. Actually, syrup, you want to be very careful with it because I think I put it a little bit too much, so it made it a little sweeter. But otherwise, I feel like I'm eating a cake. I feel like I'm eating a cloud. I don't even know what else to compare it to because this is incredible.
It's soft, squishy, and big.
Fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really fun.
Yeah, and I love it. Me too. Got some more?
Join us next week for another adventure as we explore practical, budget-friendly recipes with an international twist.